Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Patch Notes, the show where we cover the biggest gaming news from the week in a nice bit-sized package. My name is Connor and as always I hate Drew.
Don't say that about me. I'm a sweet boy, I'm a good boy.
This week's episode is going to be a little short because Connor here has a hot date with a Star War.
They're gonna be battling out there, can't be late to the year, 2 years, 3 years.
So yeah, we only have a few stories to cover this week, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Mark Hamill's dead.
Oh my god.
Net neutrality, more like net fatality.
Quality. Alright, real selfie?
So yeah, the FCC has officially repealed net neutrality as of recording this today. This could potentially be devastating for gamers because ISPs can now charge gamers more just to have gaming services active on their certain internet provided accounts. So think of it like cable companies bundle your cable, phone, and internet together. Now they can also bundle other things into your internet, kind of like a cable package where like, oh, do you want HBO? Do you want Showtime? Well, you gotta pay more for those. They can do that with their internet now. In theory, they can do that now. They can say like, oh, do you want a game? You want to stream movies? Well, you got to pay a little bit more to do that. Net neutrality was preventing that from happening. These companies say they won't do that, but I mean, why the hell should we trust them? They're fighting to get this repealed anyway, and now that it is repealed, they can just do whatever they want. So we just have to hope that Congress votes to overturn this repeal. So you should call your Congress.
PUBG shocks the world with poor performance. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is out on Xbox One. Whoa! Me and Drew have it. Some of our friends have. We've been playing. What do you think, Drew? Runs like butter, right? It's smooth, baby. 60 frames a second. It is crispy, dude. It runs great.
My peasant eyes have not seen anything smoother.
Baby, I got 30. I got 2 Xboxes cut in half, and I glued them back together twice the power, half the cost, baby. I'm looking at 3.4 bandwidth. Let me tell you, it runs like a beauty.
If you couldn't tell by now, we're joking. This game runs like ass.
I can't even connect most games because mass connection is garbo.
Well, I think the problem comes from the fact that they literally just like transported the code from the PC version onto the Xbox and didn't do anything else. Because if you plug in one of those chat keyboards to your controller on Xbox, sorry, you can press O to get the graphics options to come up. You can't do anything with them, but like you can still use WASD to walk around. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4 to change weapons and stuff like that. I think the reason that there is no optimization, or it looks like there's no optimization, is because there is no optimization.
I mean, we're lucky to have PUBG on console, first of all, because that game was never meant to run on anything less than the best gaming PCs in the world.
And even then.
Yeah, like I have like a pretty good PC, and when I first started playing, my buildings wouldn't even load when I landed. I had to wait 5 minutes to play before I could walk into a building and pick up a gun because I didn't have enough RAM, so I had to upgrade RAM and do all this stuff. And it's just it's a poorly optimized game, and they're still working on it. Well,
it's coming out of early access on PC, which is good, but that's because, you know, it's getting to a good spot on PC, actually. The performance is pretty good. It's got 2 maps. It's got a good amount of weapons and stuff like that. It's actually a pretty good experience on PC. But on Xbox right now, it feels like PUBG felt like 6 months ago when Connor and I first started playing. So hopefully they can optimize it for the Xbox.
Yeah, I think that's just something that's going to come with time. I think we're going to have to wait longer to get a good running PUBG on Xbox.
It's really weird. Like a week before this came out, PlayerUnknown went to Twitter and said that they are targeting 60 FPS for both the Xbox One and the Xbox One X versions when they like fully launch. And then he said that it's running 60 FPS on the Xbox One X, and on the Xbox One it's running 30 to 40 FPS. Now, obviously, since then, he's come back on those statements because none of that is true at all. So I think maybe we're just playing like a really old build. Like maybe internally they've gotten it working a little bit better. They just fucked up and didn't release the newest build, or they found some game-breaking bug and had to release an older build or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't think somebody would just bold-faced lie like that so much. Like it's egregious. To the point where I feel like something else is going on here.
I believe in them.
Yeah, I believe in it too, just because I've seen how much the PC version has gotten better, so I think they can do it.
Crytek sues the shit out of Star Citizen developers.
So this is kind of a mess, but if you didn't know what Star Citizen was, first of all, what rock are you living under? It's like the biggest Kickstarter project of all time. It's like the most funded thing ever. It's been in development for years now. I don't even know exactly how long. I haven't been keeping track of it because I didn't donate money to it. I've been looking at the game because I think it looks cool, but I'm not actually like financially invested in it coming out, so I don't really care that much. But this new development is potentially huge. Because Crytek, the owners of the CryEngine, which is the engine that Cloud Imperium Games has been using, they're suing Cloud Imperium Games because they have actually moved on to using a different engine for the game, which breaches their contract. And they also started using their license with CryEngine to develop a separate game, which means that they were using one license to develop two games, which also breaches their contract. So I'm basically just summarizing a lot of information here. I've left a link in the description below where you guys can see the actual filing and some comments on Reddit where people have actually left links to responses from Cloud Imperium Games, who have basically stated that they haven't actually used CryEngine for quite some time and have moved over to their new Lumberyard engine, which they've been developing both the games in for quite a while, which is weird because they basically admit in that statement that they have breached their exclusivity contract with CryEngine and Crytek. So this is gonna be interesting. Basically what Crytek is asking for is an injunction, a total injunction of all of their assets from Cloud Imperium Games, which would mean that Cloud Imperium Games would just have to give up all of the assets that they used with CryEngine, basically starting them from scratch. And this game has been in development for years. They have stuff that people have actually already paid for, like you can pay a bunch of money to get ships in the game. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be a mess, especially if Crytek wins. And it actually kind of looks like Crytek has a good case here, so things aren't looking good.
A lot of questions, Drew. Let's have a little conversation.
Yeah, let's have a little chat.
Have a little chat. What was the contract that they had to use CryEngine to make the? That doesn't really make sense. Like, if they were using CryEngine, like I guess is what the part of the contract is they could only get out of this contract.
Honestly, I don't think this is all doom and gloom. Like, just based on the fact alone that people have already paid for stuff in the game, like if a judge looks at this and says like, okay, you got to turn all this stuff over, then Cloud Imperium Games is going to say like, how are we going to pay these people back? Yeah. On top of doing all this and paying Crytek. So I think what's realistically probably going to happen, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just talking out of my ass here. What I realistically think is going to happen is the judge is going to say, well, we can't possibly let you give up everything. You guys have put way too much money into it. You've invested way too much. And you have customers who have already invested so much. So we can't possibly let you give up everything. So they're going to require them to not use CryEngine anymore.
It'll probably be a settlement. They pay Crytek a certain amount of money, and like it's a dollar equivalent to the amount of like microtransactions that have already gone into the game.
Yeah.
So basically all the money they made off ships and stuff probably hand over to Crytek.
Exactly. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And then maybe they'll have to put like the CryEngine splash screen in front of their game or something like that as well. Don't be surprised if a couple years from now they say, look, we just need to get this game out, and they start shopping around for a publisher like EA or Ubisoft or Sony or Microsoft or somebody to pick this game up to officially publish it so that they can have some more money and have some faith that they have an install base.
Like, what if it just fucking went away? Like, that would be so
right?
Crazy. Like, people were so hyped and like throwing money at a thing that didn't even exist yet, and then like for it to just go away, people would be like, my fake thing. My imagination.
That's why I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible. I don't think it's going to just go away with this. I do think Crytek will get something. I think there's no doubt that Crytek is going to get something out of this. And I think what you said, where they get all the money that they've made so far on those microtransactions.
Using Crytek's engines. Like, well, you were using our engine to make the games.
You were also making money on the side by selling these ships.
Yeah,
so I think that is very likely. Next week we might have something else to say about this if you know it goes forward.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes. Pretty interesting stuff. Well, thanks for watching the little chat.
And so that's going to do it for us this week. Sorry if this episode was a little bit shorter. We tried to fill it in with that little chat segment. But thank you guys for watching. I'm Drew.
And I'm Kondo.
But as always, if there are any major updates to these stories within the next couple of days, I'll be sure to post them in the comments below. Also, let us know what you guys think is possibly going to happen with Star Citizen. Am I being too optimistic? Or is it just going to totally crash and burn and we're never going to see this game? But yeah, anyway, I guess we'll see you guys next week. See ya.
Bye. You're
forgetting developer every single time, but...
no one cares. This is Star Citizen suit. Star Citizen suit! That's all I really need. People are like, what? Suit, Star Citizen, no!
What? I spent $5,000 in that game!
All your ships are gone. We're taking your ships back. They're all property of Crytek now.